Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Our Community with Whitney Prather. Learn about what's happening in Stark and Tuscarawas counties and the surrounding areas. We're going to highlight interesting people, businesses, organizations, churches, events, and even more. Stay tuned. Do you ever find yourself procrastinating, delaying the inevitable? Maybe it's the chores or difficult conversations or exercising. I know a thing or three about procrastination, and it doesn't discriminate on subject matters. Maybe you have a fantastic idea and you cannot move on it because you fear failure or success. If you can relate, stay tuned. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Our Community today. It is just you and I, so settle in. Hey, I struggled with this podcast, to be honest with you, because in preparing my notes for this topic, I realized that I have so much trouble with this actual thing, procrastination. And I wasn't delusional enough to believe that I mastered it or anything like that. But as I contemplated my thoughts, I didn't expect to be so challenged on this. And to be honest, I procrastinated on sharing this message. I waited a couple of days too long to put my thoughts together. I just wanted to be honest. And I know that we all deal with procrastination to some degree. And so I just really wanted to talk about it today. You hear of people saying, I have all these tabs open in my head and I'm the same way. But I also am procrastinating on a number of those tabs. And I think that this was just really a good exercise because I had to talk to God and ask him, why? What's my problem? Why am I avoiding this? And I think he answered me in part. I think it's a conversation that I'm having. I think there's a lot more for him to unpack and to reveal to me. But the first thing that I realized was that my procrastination is really rooted in fear and perfection. Somehow I fear that this is not going to be good and I want it to be perfect. So just disclaimer, this topic is very personal to me. So if you don't get anything out of it, rest assured that I am. So let's chat about perfection for a second. Sometimes we feel like we have to be perfect before execution. Things have to be lined up. I's have to be dotted. T's have to be crossed. We could attribute this to our own socializations and upbringings. And normally it's something in your past that is really dictating how you're responding to your present life situations. So if you look and reflect back, you can see possibly the root of whatever issue that you're dealing with. But today we're talking about procrastination. So my upbringing really offered a heavy hand to this notion of doing your best. It's a really good lesson. Nothing that I share today is going to take away from that. It's a really valuable lesson, and it's something that I'm teaching my daughter, and it's something that I aspire to do. I also heard a lot that being excellent was the way to be acceptable. So I think that all of these messages, these two messages are really good, but I internalized it too much to the point of just really being unrealistic about what I can produce is a real thing for me. I always have 11 things on my to-do list, and I always think that I can accomplish them in the day. So at the end of the day, when I don't accomplish the thing, you can expect me to be disappointed. I was thinking about this as I was doing this too, that I think about my days as good by the things that I accomplish. So I even may have romanticized a few stories in the Bible that contributed to these beliefs. I'm going somewhere with this, so just hold on. I'm definitely going to offer you some practical tips in a moment, but there's something important that I want to hit on about romanticizing some of my favorite Bible stories. So in the book of Daniel, we find Daniel and his friends exiled to Babylon and selected to serve the king because of their God-given distinguishing qualities. Similar to that, we also see Esther in the same light. She's set apart. She has distinguishing qualities. And if we're not careful, we can walk through these pages and read through them and not understand that they're operating in the everyday like we are. We have the luxury of perusing through these stories and getting to the end very quickly. So if we're not careful, we could look at a story like David and think that it took weeks or months or a couple of years on his road to the kingdom. And in all actuality, it was probably more like 20 years, I believe. So there's so much greatness in these individuals. Of course, you'd want to pattern your life after them. That's why we have this scripture, is to be able to take out these truths and apply it to us. But let's not fail to see the hand of God on them, empowering them, making it possible. None of these people are doing it by themselves, So we have to see the journey, and we also have to understand that getting there takes time. And sometimes time can be really intimidating to us. So that was my incomplete journey on uncovering the perfection behind my procrastination. And I say incomplete because I do think this is a journey that I still have to learn more things about, what my problem is. So upbringing and romanticizing the very best parts of the Bible, like so many of us tend to do, can really contribute to some thoughts and some misgivings. So next, I have 3 things that I really think we need to let go of in order to move forward without procrastination holding us back. Number 1, let go of your self-doubt. When you get clear on who God is and who He's made you to be, you'll be able to logically and spiritually put self-doubt in its place. Accept these truths and you will be able to set yourself straight. So look at God first, is what I'm saying. Let Him reveal Himself to you and all of His amazing goodness. And then ask Him about yourself. So look to Him first and then turn inward. Number 2, let go of your perfection. So what if your human shows and you see glimpses of imperfection? Really, answer that question. So what? What will happen? Nothing. It's all good. You're going to see yourself in an honest light, and that's okay because you need the Lord. It's okay. It's all good. I have a friend call me very recently about a job interview that she believed that she tanked. It was so recently that I don't even know the result of the interview, but I'm pretty sure that it went very well. So when I asked her about why she felt like the interview bombed, it was because she didn't believe she did a live demo part of the interview well. So she got a bit turned around with some of the procedures that she was supposed to do. But as I was hearing her talk about this, I definitely asked her questions about the job and what it entailed. But it became very clear to me that this was her specific issue rather than anything else. And, I really pray that she does get this role. But if she doesn't, I think we just need to get out of the habit of being so self-focused, so self-obsessing, so focused on our perfection. It's time to let it go. Let go of the perfection. The third thing that you need to let go of is shame. Hiding is something that Adam and Eve knew about. They actually found themselves doing that when God was looking for them in the Garden of Eden. And it is also something that the man in the story of the talents with his one bag of treasure, the other one person had 5 bags of treasure or 5 pieces of treasure. The other person had 3. They all did the correct thing by investing and making that treasure grow. But the last person that God came to actually hid. Am I saying this right? I think I am. Please go with me, but definitely fact checked. And so hiding is directly linked to the shame. So he hid his treasure because he knew that this person was a hard man and he didn't want anything to happen to it. So he hid it. So hiding is directly linked to the shame that we have. And shame will negatively transform your life. So over the next week or so, I want you to think about these things and how they're operating in your life. Literally, get your journal, and ask God, and then write what He shares with you. How is self-doubt working in your life? How is perfectionism working in your life? How is shame working negatively in your life? You have to ask these questions. Am I hiding? Am I freezing? Am I just so intimidated that I won't even move at all? Is there a great number of things that I'm not doing? You need to ask the Lord to uproot these things that are holding you back and that are distracting you and keeping you from purpose. We are talking about purpose over procrastination today. So that is my little assignment to you. Make sure that you sit down with the Word of God, write these things down. Again, am I hiding? Am I freezing? Am I not moving forward on something that God has told me to do? Do I have some type of irrational fear? Now, I also have some practical tips for you to work through. If you're in a procrastination rut, work through it with me. Make a list of all the things that you're putting off. Just scribble this list down in your journal. If you don't have a journal, maybe invest in one. You're going to do a massive brain dump. And, I don't know where I learned this from, but I know that this tip is so incredibly helpful. Okay, so after you do this brain exercise where you put everything down on a piece of paper, what you want to do is prioritize your list. How do I prioritize? You can prioritize it according to the date. If the items are date driven, that's, the answer that you're going to go with. But if you don't have any dates to worry about, what I would like for you to do is accomplish the thing that is the least amount of effort. Do the thing that is most doable first. This is the thing that will require the least amount of effort. This will definitely help you. It's going to produce a win for you. You're going to be able to cross that thing off your list. It's going to produce some psychological effects where endorphins are released and butterflies and birds are going to fly. Okay, no, maybe not that, but some endorphins are going to be released and you'll basically just get this wonderful natural high for accomplishing something. So after you work on the thing that is most doable and you're crossing that off your list, next you're going to move to the most challenging things. So the things that require multiple days to do and things that require for you to leave out of your house or have conversations. Maybe some of these things require you to rope in other people to accomplish the goal. So there's other people who need to play a role in getting this task off your to-do list. You'll save those things for last. Again, if this isn't date driven, definitely save it for last. But the goal here is to get some momentum by doing the easy things first. And hopefully you're building habits and you're just ready to get these things off your list. Whitney, why are you talking about this? Because you really do lose out when your dreams are continually deferred. Some time ago, when I was interning as a senior at Malone University, I experienced an acute disappointment. Notice the dramatics here. During my internship, my supervisor relayed some not so good feedback that she received from her boss. So my boss's boss had said something, which you want those people to only say good things, but she said something negative. So as my manager told me, I was sitting in her car and she relayed to me that I was not a good writer. I was in her car. I could not escape. And honestly, I'm not being dramatic. My soul was really crushed because my communications internship was all about writing. So I finished the internship despite the bad news. I actually loved the people. They loved me. It was one of the best internships that I had. But nonetheless, a seed was planted in my heart and in my mind. So for years down the road, whenever I needed to write something, I was in fear. I was in intimidation. I still definitely had to write. It was my job. But procrastination on these different tasks, these writing tasks, were very intense. Have you ever experienced this trepidation? Maybe someone told you that you would never amount to anything. And so whenever you put your name in the hat for a new job or a promotion, you definitely get into your feelings. And maybe someone told you that you weren't worthy of love, and so you don't believe you deserve it. And maybe you approach relationships in a way that's not conducive for you, for your health. So we all have a story, and that's what I I know I'm talking to someone about procrastination and not just me. I don't want you to miss your moment because it's time to move on and it's time to do the thing. Scripture tells us to take every thought captive. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. That's found in 2 Corinthians 10. Procrastination wants to get in the way of purpose so badly in your life, but I'm just saying purpose over procrastination. That's what I've been saying. Purpose over procrastination. They are definitely going to be things in your life that make you feel stuck, but you just have to push back on them. You know, I think it's Rachel Hollis that always says you can do hard things. I think it's her. But what's on the other side of your obedience? Is it clarity, promise, opportunities, destiny, legacy? Yay for all of those things. When you procrastinate, you're not honoring God's gift. Be careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. That's found in Ephesians 5:15-17. Here are some mindsets that we can adopt in place of, I can't do it, I'm not good at this, I'll never amount to anything. Instead of that, I want you to adopt these mindsets. Number 1, everything that I have is a gift from above. My time, my family, my belongings, all a gift. When we operate in the mindset, like you would not dare waste the precious things that you have been given. They're a gift. You want to steward them well. You want them to grow. Number 2, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is helping me right now. Philippians 4:13. Overcoming fear, anxiety, and doing the thing that you've been putting off is not going to be easy. I'm not saying that at all. I know that we're going to need Christ. I'm going to need Christ. I'm going to need his spirit to help me. But this is the mindset that I need to put on so that I can have strength as I move forward. You know, as I move forward with a passion that he placed inside of me. Number 3, the next mindset that you need to adopt is I love myself and those around me. I'm not going to disrespect myself by putting off another thing. I'm going to respect others. I can do this today. Why put it off tomorrow? Those are my 3 little mindsets. Put them on. Everything that I have is a gift from God. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I love myself and I love those around me. You want to build confidence, okay? So how do you build confidence? You need to move. You need to just start. You need to take some action. Action is how we build confidence. You have to do something and you have to start today. Don't overplan. Don't do that to yourself. You can definitely be strategic. You don't want to overplan though, okay? Because that can lead you into another trap that you don't want. You can build confidence also by helping someone. If you involve others, there is a higher sense of urgency to move forward. And there is just something so remarkable that is released in the world when you start to do something for someone else and it actually helps them. Purpose over procrastination. Obedience over fear. Keep your God-given purpose top of mind. I hope that something in this encouraged you today. It definitely encourages me. This has definitely been a struggle of mine, but I'm an overcomer, and so are you. Have a good one.